May I proceed?
Proceed, counsel.
Can you please state your name spelling your last for the record?
My name is Wesley Roman, R-O-M-A-N.
Mr. Roman, how are you involved in today's case?
Well, I was contacted by the defense to look into the cause of the accident and ultimately provide my opinion on the issue.
Do you have any qualifications so that you can provide that sort of opinion?
I attended the University of Texas, Austin, where I got my Bachelor's of Science in Mechanical Engineering. I also do continuing education through Northwestern University in the field, and I've been doing so for a while now.
What do you do for a living?
I'm the principal engineer and owner of my own accident reconstruction firm in Midlands. I've been doing it for 10 years now.
And how exactly do you go about determining the cause of an accident?
Well, we get contacted, and to evaluate this, we're provided with the written statements of the eyewitnesses to the accident, as well as physical evidence from the accident itself.
And have you ever testified in court before?
Yes, I have. It would be 47 times now.
Were you qualified as an expert in those cases?
Each and every time I was qualified as an expert in the area of accident reconstruction.
Okay, well, let's start with today's case then. Did you have enough facts and data in order to form an opinion in this case?
As I mentioned, I had the written statements of eyewitnesses to the accident, as well as I was privileged to all the physical evidence of the accident.
Did you use reliable principles and methods to come to your conclusion?
I used the principles and methods outlined in the Windsor and Strasbourg Vehicle Accident Reconstruction, a primer. It's essentially the Bible of vehicle accident reconstruction. It's the go-to treatise.
Did you properly apply the facts of this case to that primer?
I applied them to the T.
Now, you mentioned that you were given some statements in this case. What statements were you given exactly?
I had the statement of a Taylor Hobson. She was in the vehicle at the time of the accident. And I also had the statement of a London Bennett. She was the onlooker to the accident. I also had the fatal crash team report authored by Officer Foster.
And what did you find from these?
From these, I was able to determine that Danny Dawson was driving at approximately 1 a.m. September 25th, 2010, down Canyon Road in a white 2011 Chevy Impala. He was the driver of the vehicle. Vanessa Sullivan was in the front passenger seat, and Taylor Hobson was in the back seat.
You also mentioned physical evidence. What physical evidence did you have in this case?
I first took a look at the car itself, and with the car I noticed that the dents in the front hood and the right passenger door were consistent with a car that had impacted a utility pole, then subsequently rotated counterclockwise to strike a tree where it came to its final position of rest.
Was that the only physical evidence that you had?
No, it wasn't.
What else did you have?
I actually went to the field myself, and I prepared a diagram to better explain.
Your Honor, may the witness approach the diagram?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Roman, can you tell us what exactly this is that we're looking at?
What we're looking at is an illustration of Canyon Road's.
Can we just tilt that a little bit so counsel can see?
Oh,
Really bad.
this is ready? Stand over here. All right. So this is the stretch of Canyon Road, specifically where the accident occurred. As you can see, Canyon Road's a two-lane country road. The lanes are approximately 10 feet in width with a 2-foot shoulder on either side of the lane. Canyon Road has north and southbound traffic.
And what did you find when you first arrived at the scene?
When I first got to the scene, what I noticed was the angle of the curve. Now, when you head northbound on Canyon Road, which would be this direction, it means that your line of vision is actually limited as you proceed around the curve. So you can't see objects in the roadway as you come around the curve.
Did you find any sort of signs warning drivers of this impending curve?
There were no signs to indicate of the curve at all.
Now, what was the next thing you noticed at the scene?
The next thing I noticed was that there was a tree only 30 inches from the side of the road, and there was no guardrail near that section of the tree.
And why is that significant?
Well, this is significant because when coupled with the fact that there's a 40% downhill slope embankment on either side of the road, it means that if a car were to exit the side of the road, it would be pulled down by that embankment into the tree, making collision with it inevitable.
Did you notice anything else while you were at the scene of the accident?
Yes. Along the east side of the road, there was rutting, actually 124 feet to be exact.
Now, Mr. Roman, what exactly is rutting?
Well, rutting simply dictates the path the vehicle took and the angle at which it departed the road. The rutting in this case was the torn grass that was torn when the car was yawing on the side of the road.
Were you able to analyze the rutting in this case?
Yes, I was.
What did you find?
Well, there's different types of rutting. So, say there was an inattentive driver or a distracted driver, possibly one who had a few drinks. It would be a gentle list. The curve wouldn't be so sharp.
Now, what was the curve in this case?
Now, the curve in this case was a sharp curve. What this means is that the driver made a conscious decision to turn the wheel, as if to avoid something.
Speculation.
Overruled.
It would be more reminiscent of something like that.
So were you able to make any conclusions in this case as to the cause of the accident?
Yes, I was.
So in your expert opinion, what was the cause of this accident?
As Danny Dawson proceeded northbound on Canyon Lane, he observed something in the roadway, made a sharp jerk off to the side, then attempted to re-enter the roadway, but overcompensated for the 40% embankment, and everything after that point was out of his control.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no further questions at this time.